Ah, you've landed. Good. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trust...
Here before you get yourself killed. Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and we're gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official... I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these Really? Shouldn't have done that. Spacer's Choice fan. We'll see him back to Edgewater. Just as soon as I cross these marauders off with a swift, cost-efficient... I just... you know. Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost. You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders.
Here we go.
I just earned a fine bonus.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder. Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of... Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this... I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengage. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express... This vessel is the registered property of... I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone else. I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain... I understand. I will require some time to... I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were the main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within high-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical network. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please, this cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the... Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, because you sure walked in it like it was your... And if this ship is yours, well, ma'am, you owe space... Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to...
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The can's bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your... I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. Shirt, pants, work boots, company-approved colors.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismissal.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited. No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But, like a parent, the people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is... You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide...
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a...
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. Hey, ma'am, can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on... Oh, he ain't a liar. It's just, he doesn't always get... To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Move along, stranger. You don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. A Gia what? Look, if you're gonna start wandering around... Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. Much obliged.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gate. I have been called that, among other things. Green...
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just...
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea? Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is He would do such a thing. The question is... Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought... If you're going down to the plant, you should divert... Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to... I trust you will listen to your conscience.
I always wanted to poke around in here. Here we go! The control room should be off to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing. The deserters aren't going to be all right, pal. But what about the town? All those people.
Cannery's gone quiet. Never thought I'd see the day.
Maybe Adelaide was right to leave.
Desertion is a criminal offense, punishable by hard labor.
You want to know what gets my bile churning? Edgewater has suffered a cavalcade of disasters. Plague, marauders, desertion. I never knew how right I was. Just answer one question for me. Why'd you do it? Is that right? I'm dying to hear this. Please. Liberating? Edgewater is my home. The only home I've ever had. Whatever you were hoping to find down here, I advise you to turn around and leave. All right, easy now. Let's not do anything I'll order my guards to stand down. Take what... Stand down, all of you. We're done.
Do you hear that? That low, pleasant hum of electricity? I would have paid my last 5 bits to see the look on Reed's face when the last lamp... Time's come to look toward the future. We'll grow, I expect. I don't look forward to turning folk away. Camp's got... I am curious. Why did you help us? You don't know who we are. You're not quite like anyone else I've met. You're welcome among us if... You are welcome.
You did the brightest thing you could, sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise.
One of us want to go see what happened?
Marauders can't see it.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would... This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off... I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not... You want my flock wasting their life? Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them they're... And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same 4 walls together.
I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much used to any... I get sick thinking about working at the camp. You know something? I think you're right. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in a hunt. Are you sure about this? If we head back to Edgewater on our own... You know where to find me. I expect we got no choice. Edgewater needs us back, and loath as I am to admit it, we need Edgewater. You okay with this, Grace?
My affairs are all settled. Thanks for helping me with Zoe.
Just give us some time to gather our personals and say our goodbyes. If you run into Reed, you tell him we're coming back, yeah?
Look at that. Good for them. I'm glad. Back to the old cannery with Grace and Thomas. I expected it'd end like this. Lived out here for years all by my lone... I expect you've done enough for the Vale. If you don't mind leaving an old lady with her thought...
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, that's good enough for me. Adelaide and I have a history. Was unlikely. We are in your debt. I am authorizing you for a discount on all official Spacer's Choice products. By all means. Thomas. Thomas Kemp?
He tries real hard, Mr. Thompson. This is something he wants to do.
You may be right. And with the town set to grow, it is time. This whole fiasco is not one I am keen on repeating. I was too hard on. With more hands at the cannery, I expect productivity will rise. I expect we'll grow. And I expect I can ask corporate to send us some more medicine. This is a fine day, friend. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way. Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been... I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best. Her son got sick with plague a couple years back, so I had to choose. You see, Adelaide's child or someone else. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. You are disparaging our We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna camp. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own... The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanist couldn't... You'll excuse me for being skeptical? How exactly is... If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then my life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in... No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls. I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week. I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to... I have always tried to do right by my town. It is never... I already told you I'm leaving. Just give me a little while to...
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a... You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry. I
already told you I'm leaving. Just give me a